Hey, thanks for coming to the channel. Today I'm talking about my software. We are on version 1.0.0.29. We made a lot of changes here. I made a lot of somebody made a lot of changes here. It had like some craziness going on. Now, let me show you a video here. Okay, first of all, let's just do something, right? Let's take a look at a PID. Let's look at come on. I'm looking for something that fluctuates a little bit, and it's like usually voltages, maybe the module voltage, and even the O2 sensors, which are inactive, have a voltage on them. So let's see what we got here. Now I'm looking for just some kind of life, right? Like these are generally pretty steady, but I'm looking for, yeah, see, like that right there, a little bit of fluctuation. Sometimes you're not really, sometimes it's just settled into what it is. Okay, fine. So you'll see that, and you see that especially with RPM, right? RPM just jumps all over some number, and it's generally telling you the number, but it's always like, it's never just one steady number. Okay, so let's back. So that's a normal behavior. I think everybody just naturally knows about that. Okay, so now let me show you this video, this problem I found, this bug, absolute bug I found. Let me see here. Check this out. Okay, so now what are we looking at, right? Whoops, it's pretty, it doesn't pause very well, does that? It does not. Okay, so what we're looking at here is the software. We're selecting number of warm-ups since DTC cleared, right? This is not a 0.5, this is just a 1, 2, 10, 52, 60, right? This is just a number. So let's see what this software does when we get this number. So go ahead and start. It's like, what? Wait a minute. See, you thought I was going to show some weird decimal, but look at that. Well, is it 37? Is it 38? 37? How many times has it warmed up? And how can it possibly be that what's wrong here, right? So the thing is, okay, so very good, right? Let's just show that again a little bit, get a little, how could that in what reasonable universe could this be? Right? And if you've seen a piece of software, somebody must have seen this happening. If you see a piece of software, I don't know how many people actually use this software, but I saw it. I finally saw it. And that's such an odd situation. Now, let me get rid of that video. Now, as I was trying to figure out what was going on, now what we're looking at here, this is, geez, what is this? This is, right. This is a video of, geez, I'm having a hard time controlling these, what is the problem here, man? Anyway, give me a freaking break with this thing. Make me freaking crazy. All right, damn. Stop. All right, what we're looking... I'm on this planet to fix the fact that I get mad at stuff real easy. Okay, I accept that. Okay, let's go forward. Now, number of warm-ups since DTC cleared. It's a 30 is the code, and you stick a 01 for service mode 1 in front of that 30, and then you'll get this number, right? Okay, pretty straightforward. So now what I'm doing is I'm showing this in the video, and then I'm coming over to my software and I'm showing, look, I'm sending the 0130 and I send it, and then look what happens. Let me hit pause. Jeez, this stupid video. Okay, so now what you see there is you see the two ECUs. I want to say microprocessor. If I say microprocessor, I mean ECU. I mean, this means the same thing, right? Two ECUs. One is responding with 26. The other one's responding with 25. Forget about all the stuff to the left, except you can see the address 7E8 is the powertrain, 7EA is the transmission. And the transmission is responding to this request for warm-ups, and the powertrain is to see what's happening. So what's happening is my software was only taking the first one, but what's happening is one might get there before the other, and that's what you're seeing when the 37, 38, 38, 37, because, well, 26 and 25, for example, are hexadecimal numbers, and they represent the numbers 37 and 38. So right away, okay, that's interesting, but what we have is the a whole problem, not just in the PIDs that the user PIDs, but in the PIDs that I'm saying are OBD2 PIDs, that I'm just randomly letting ECUs give me data. Completely wrong, completely out of control, completely out of order. You're out of order. This thing is out of order, right? So, I resolved that because basically I had to go into, okay, so let's get rid of this. So basically what I did is I had to go inside of the software, and the first thing I did was I went into my user PIDs because they are very explicit about, all right, like for forget the transmission temperature is a real common PID that you don't get in a standard, app. But you can get it in Torque or others where you can enter it. So there's a transmission temperature, and I'm going to put it with engine coolant, right? Engine coolant is just a standard PID from the that you can find. But transmission temperature is specific to this vehicle. So, well, let's look at transmission temperature before we do anything. So to edit it, by the way, just editing is just whichever one's selected first, it's going to edit. So it would edit engine ECU voltage in this case, which we don't want to do. But that's just showing you how to edit, how to select. So you got to just select the one that you want. So trans temp, right? So we come in here, let's edit this. Transmission temperature, you can see the ECU is 7E2. Calculation is whatever. Here's the PID code, 22. They're all going to be pretty much mode 22. 1940 is a 4-digit code, etc., etc. I can edit this. I can play games with it, whatever. Whoops. Let me keep this 72. And then of course if I look at engine coolant, that's going to be a different microprocessor. That's going to be E70EO, which is the powertrain. And the numbers are just it's a different discussion why the numbers are like that. I'm not even 100% sure how to explain that, or if I even understand it. But they're basically offset by 8. Anyway, so you can see that I'm talking to 2 different ECUs, and they're fine. But then when we go ahead and say, let's look at them both, and then I go ask for it live, and then what I did is I added a column so that you could see what the ECU is. And there's my transmission temperature. It's being reported by my transmission temperature. So the difficulty that I had, that I saw with the warm-ups, alerted me to an issue that this software, you really can't, what do the British say? You can't do things willy-nilly. You can't bloody do these things willy-nilly. You have to bloody do what I don't know. You have to be specific. So let me go back. And now I'm going to just select everything over here, start. And what it will do is it will reorder things, because what we're talking to the ELM327, this thing is going to have to set the ELM327's headers to 70EO, send all the 70EO stuff, then set it to 72, then send the 72 stuff. So the software will just normally group these. And what I might do later is make a nice grid, like sort of have the DTC codes are, where the groups are like sort of a group of 70EO and then separated by another group of 72. So that's another update at some point. But now what you can do is you can come in, and there's all kinds of ECUs in the newer cars now, way beyond these numbers, that people know of, and they just don't have a piece of software to access them. So now you have it, Oh, you can also do cool things, right? Like the engine coolant. Say I wanted to just make a duplicate, but maybe for the transmission. So I could just say copy, and see it's already created. The PID. So if I did nothing and just exited, see that's created. And I could just delete it. If I say, I didn't want to do that, I can just delete it. So what? No big deal. No big deal. The other thing is that I did that's really nice is that these are saved in a text file that you can edit now. Now, actually, I have this plugged in today into my computer. So let me just make sure that my connection is nice and alive. So I have a regular PC. I'm plugging into my PC with my Android. And then let me bring you over to my monitor here. Okay, so this just popped up. So it's my Android's, my Android folders. So I come into my phone. I think you might have to say yes, you have permission. We'll come in here, and you're looking for your Android directory. In the Android directory under Data, you're looking for my software, basically my software folder. It's going to be called COM Otterbein. Now, one of the things you can do is you can look for modified, and it's going to be one of the most recent modified ones because there's a file in there that I'm talking about. Here's the one for the CAN, and here's the one, it's COM Otterbein Solutions. Find this folder, come in here, go into Files, and you'll find this userpids.json file. Weird name, JSON. JavaScript object notation, but it's a text file. So you just grab this. I'm going to copy it over here. I'm overwriting what you see there. Overwrite. Okay, so this is a text file. I can open with, look at this, I can open with Notepad. And it's just text. And here are all my PIDs. So I'm just going to edit these to just to names that'll make sense. And let me see it. I don't know, coolant, jam, engine, ECU, volts, as it were. I don't know, trans, temp, with cheese. I'm just trying to make it so that when I copy it back, I can say file, save, just like any text file. And then what I'll do is I will copy this file back to my Android folder. And then what I'm going to do now is we will switch off of and now we're back here. And what I'm going to do is, I don't really have a refresh, so I'm just going to back out of here and then come back in. And here's all those weird, silly, just having fun kind of changes. I was worried I used the word cheese more than once. And then let's say, so now you can see this, you can back up. So let's delete everything. There's a reason I deleted everything but one, and I'll show you in a second. So, so now let's, I deleted everything, but of course I can come over here and grab my JSON backup file and just copy it back here. Of course, the name has to be userpids.json. That's not, you can't do anything to change that. So let's shut that off, and let's come back here. Let's back out and come back in. Oh, and look at that, and there it is. So now you can edit these and save them. So if my software updates or changes or something, you won't lose everything anymore. You can just back up if you have a piece, if you can just access your Android folders and just rewind, and you'll see exactly where the folder is. It should be very easy to find in your Android. What else am I talking about here? Okay, so that was pretty critical. So the ECUs, also, like you can, did I show you? I made a couple takes of this video, so I forget if I showed you. You can copy these things, right? So you can copy engine coolant, and then I can come in and edit 72. I don't think this is gonna, do anything. Say apply, come back. And now I got this weird PID in here. I don't know if it's going to deliver me any data. Now here's the thing. If you get these PIDs screwed up, or you're asking for data that isn't there, or PIDs, it's going to slow everybody else down. Meaning, like, if I have a bunch of other PIDs that work, and I run, and I have one that's bad, but it's included in there. Where is that bad one? Right here. Yeah, I don't know what this is. 82.4. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so see, we randomly did that. So it's giving us something. So that's weird. I didn't even pay attention. So the transmission ECU is good. Now you might say, oh, how do you know that these ECUs are really what you say? Okay, so let's do this. Where's the transmission temperature? Okay, transmission temperature with cheese is at 72. It's coming in at 70 degrees. So let's just change the ECU and see if anything happens to this value. Okay, so let's go back. Let's clear this for sanity. Trans temperature. This is a stupid name. So edit. Okay, so we're going to change the ECU to just some crazy number, 79, which I know doesn't exist. See, that's one of the things. See, what I do, I change the description and not the name. Okay, so something weird's going on here. Anyway, apply, trans temp, right? Okay. Yeah, where is that? Trans temp. Okay. So now let's do that. Let's. I'm kind of confused because like I shouldn't have had a separate name and separate description. My mind is off elsewhere. But see how this trans temp now with a different ECU is coming in with -40, which just indicates that we're getting bad data. So the ECU absolutely matters. So let's go back into trans temp, fix the ECU, and we'll see that it works. So let's go back, trans temp. Let's edit the trans temp. Set that ECU back to transmission ECU. Apply. And then let's just go right straight for it. We don't have to see it. Okay, so that came back. Now you can do other things, right? You can mess this up. Like I can put the wrong PID in here. I don't know what 41 is. I don't even know if it is a PID. I don't know what the data would be or what would happen. So let's see what happens if we just. Okay, so it's probably being ignored by the car. But see, what happens is if you have a bunch of legitimate PIDs in here and you have one that's not, and it's getting bad data, it may be costing you time as this thing cycles around to get all these pieces of data. This bad piece of data, you should not use it because it's probably slow. And that's reacting pretty fast, but too many of these will slow you down. It's just like causing the system to clog up. You know what I mean? Let's go back. Is there anything else that I did? That was the main thing. User-editable PIDs, the ability to add the ECU. Now when you come in here and you're gonna get your standard quote-unquote OBD2 PIDs, now my software will go for what is the lowest address, which will be the powertrain. There's only 2 addresses that the powertrain ECU can be, and it's very unlikely that there's going to be 2 powertrain ECUs. But it's possible. So software is we're always out on the lookout for things that are not working right. But now when we on OBD2 PIDs, especially when we're asking for warm-ups. Oh, geez, where is it? I don't know. Well, I tested, so this is going to be good now. But and I also happen to have reset the car. Yeah, didn't even warm up once. Drove for 6 miles, and I guess that wasn't enough for it to consider itself warmed up. But that was a pretty wild thing. Yeah, once again, you know, what's that wild video here? Here it is, yeah. Number of warm-ups since DTC cleared. I just couldn't believe it when I saw this happen. I go, and when I saw it fluctuate, I'm just, because like how dumb would you have to be to say, oh, there's nothing wrong with that? You know, like you could be the dumbest person in the world. You're like, hey boss, this thing can't be right. You know, it's like, this is just awful. 37, 38, 37, 38. How many times you warm up? I had 37, 38, 37, 38. So the lesson here for me was know what processor you're talking to. All right, anyway, so I think everything else is pretty much the same. Our monitors and our our clearing and our DTCs. What am I doing? I'm sorry, I forgot. I was doing some action and I left you guys looking at that crap. But I think our monitors and our DTCs and everything is okay. So I'm babbling, right? I'm babbling to myself because I'm still in the process of testing. I'm not really ready to release this. By the time you see this video, it's out there, it's released. But I'm like 5 days in testing and I keep finding problems. So I'm just like going, I'm trying to overdo it, but you can't overdo it because, like, what was that? See? Look at that. See that shit? Did you see? Like, that's not right. What is going on here? That's what I'm talking about. Stuff like this goes on, and it's just, I have no idea. See? And then it's okay. What a freaking headache. What a freaking headache. Alright. So this is no good. This is not ready to go. Right? This will work fine for a whole long time for me. And, I don't know what that was. You saw that, right? So this is me testing, and everything will go fine, and I'll be like, this is like a real mental thing, because everything will be fine, and everything will look like it's going to work out, and then I'll see what we just saw, like this weird behavior, and I have no idea what's causing that. Alright, anyway, thanks for coming by, and I will take some aspirin, and because this is not ready to go. Alright, but I'm going to save this video, and when this goes out, we'll share it, and that problem should be resolved by the time. Anyway, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate everybody who... Oh, you know, if you stayed this long, I just want to say, every single person who subscribed to my channel, man, I just want to say thank you very much, because I never asked you to subscribe. It's like one of my like personal rules. I know YouTube has their little videos on, like, this is how you do a YouTube, and you have to ask for subscribers, and you have to ask for likes and all this stuff. I don't ask for any of that stuff, because I know that every single one of the likes that you guys have given me, you ladies too, I guess, every single person who subscribed has done it because, like, for the same reason I subscribed. It's like, oh, I like this channel, and it's like, it makes me feel honored. Like, I know it's ridiculous, and I don't have a whole lot of subscribers compared to some people who are like really into it, but I know that every single one of you who has subscribed is like super seriously solid, man. And the same thing for those likes. So I'll never ask for those things, but man, it makes every single one of them that I receive worth gold, man. And so I just wanted to say that, and I wanted to say at the end of the video, like, in case you know, so like whoever hung out this long, I really appreciate it, and I really appreciate you, and I wish for you a happy and good life, and of course a great freaking day. So thanks again for coming by, and I will catch you sometime in the future.